Hiya. It is May the 4th, so May the 4th be with you and all that, Star Wars, Star Trek stuff. I think it's actually just Star Wars. Don't judge me, nerdies, okay? Anyway, so I am feeling everybody in. I tried to take a nap earlier and it just was a disaster, so don't judge me. Um, I am going to fill you guys in on my medical stuff uh, that I found out in the past couple days or week, maybe. I don't remember when I posted a video, so here we are. So I am going Thursday for a neurological consult. I can't feel part of my hands. So my hands look like normal hands, right? I mean, there's like no discoloration in them, but I can't feel my palm here, my finger all the way up to the tip here, finger all the way up to the tip here, and part of the tip of my finger here, but it's really minimal in comparison. Otherwise, I can feel everything else. So really, and it's bilateral on both hands. And again, both my hands look like normal hands. Okay. They function like normal hands. Well, mostly. I mean, I can't say that. My grip has been weaker. My fine motor skills have been less. My typing is worse and slower and less accurate, which drives me crazy because if any of you that know me in real life, I type all the time. Not that this is fake life, by the way. But anyway. So I go do a neurological consult for that on Thursday at Cleveland. It's going to be a busy day. I go to Salina in the morning for an appointment, totally unrelated, and then I go to Cleveland, so it's going to be a full day packed. We're expecting to get back somewhere around 7, 8 o'clock that night. So it'll be busy for the hubs and I, but we're hoping to find out, maybe do some more testing, try and figure out exactly where that numbness is coming from. Andrew and I have a thought process that there's a possibility of some sort of a nerve compression in my back, because if you know me in real life, and if you don't, and I'm not going to show you right now, but I have a very large chest, and I have had that for as long as I can remember. When I started hitting puberty, it was like the very first thing that blossomed, if you will, and it just didn't stop. I've lost, 90 pounds, and I haven't lost anything there. I've lost the band size because my back has become smaller, but I still have a large chest area, very well endowed, if you will. However, it causes its own problems. And one of those things that I am concerned about is the potential of a nerve compression issue in my back that is causing the numbness in this hand. There is a nerve that goes in the area of your cervical 7 that does control this part of your hand. And like I said, my grip strength is worse. It's less than it was. I have spilled a file folder. I've grabbed for a file folder like this, and I've spilled it because I can't hold on to it. Typing is very strange. Even something simple that you might take for granted, like putting down the windows in your car, I typically put them down with my pinky finger, and I can't feel it, so I'm not really sure which one I'm actually putting down until I feel the air sometimes. So that's kind of weird. I have not been in a situation in my part-time job as a paramedic where I've had to start an IV yet, but I do worry about the sensation, which granted most of the sensory information comes through the pointer finger or the second finger. But I do worry about stability and stuff with the rest of that hand, as far as weakness, because I do use the rest of my hand a lot, specifically to pull skin. If I have someone that has wrinkly skin, or if I'm trying to pull the vein and I need my other hand for something else, I can pull that vein or pull that skin and then use my other fingers to make that work. So I'm a little concerned about not having the feeling in those in the long term, but again, we don't know anything yet. So we do that on Thursday. I also, those of you that have been following my specific eating issue, that is still a thing. I have gone back to mostly liquid or semi-solids. I will eat real food every once in a while. I have to be careful what it is, how much I eat, and what's contained within it. As far as specifically spicy things or sauces, I'm staying kind of away from red sauces at this point, just because of the extra acidity. I don't want a bile reflux flare up. It just makes me feel miserable for about 2 hours until that food gets digested, and then that bile comes back down to a normal state. So every time I eat, I always have this lingering fear in the back of my brain that I'm going to end up feeling bad. I am lucky enough to be in a situation and work in a job where my work family appreciates me and they care about my health also. So it's nice to be able to kind of come and go if I need to, because I'm not feeling well. So that's a plus. So get one of those work families if you don't have one. I have some concerns for the long term for that, but I do have some additional testing. I spoke to my surgeon. He said that, which Dr. Corsella, shout out from the Cleveland Clinic. He's fantastic. We were talking about it, and he obviously said to me that some of the issues that I'm having with this eating and this bile reflux, and the fact that I've been labeled a non-responder to the gastric sleeve. He was able to see with the endoscope that my sleeve was intact. It was good. It was fine structurally. But the concern is that, with me being labeled a non-responder to the gastric sleeve and then having this bile reflux situation, that the full Roux-en-Y my bypass is probably the way that we're going to need to go. He assured me, he said to me verbatim, I will not be your roadblock. If we can get insurance to approve this, I will squeeze you into the operating room. So it's great to have a team like that. I have been so happy with Dr. Corsellis and his crew. They are fantastic. His nurse, Kathy, shout out to her too. She's amazing. She was able to schedule my next tests, and she was able to schedule the 2 tests to run at the same time, or like one right after the other, which they're similar tests. I'm doing an esophageal motility test, and also doing like an esophageal pH test. It's like pH impotence or something like that. I don't remember what it's called. Anyway, they're going to measure the pH of what goes on in my stomach and in my esophagus as I eat food. So that has to stay in there for about 24 hours. So they were able to schedule me early morning on the one day, and then they'll schedule me early morning to get it out the next day. So I don't have to go to work with a nasogastral or an NG tube in my mouth or in my nose, because as we all may or may not know, they do kind of hang out up here and they look very bizarre and people are kind of put off by it. And I didn't really want to have to do that if I didn't have to, but I would do it if I had to. I had already figured out that I was going to wear a mask, like COVID times, just so that nobody had to stare at it and was like staring at my face the whole time, because golly, that'd be embarrassing, wouldn't it? So I didn't want that. But we were able to schedule that. So Andrew and I are going to go up to Cleveland and stay. We're actually staying 2 nights. We're going to stay the night before, because it is a 3-ish hour drive for us. So we'll see where that takes us. I'm hoping with the results of those tests by the end of the month, maybe we can look at doing something in July and getting this a little more under control. But that would mean trips and things without any relief. So that's going to be tough and it's going to be hard, because I'm going to be going to places where I'm not familiar with what kind of food is there or how spicy it is, for instance. So that's something I'm going to have to play with as I go along. One of the things that, like I said, I've been eating semi-solids or liquids a lot. I'm basically living on yogurts and yogurt drinks. And everybody, don't come at me with your protein shakes, okay? I lived on those for like 6 weeks, and I just am beyond over them. I'm not going to lie about it. Beyond over them. They're just, they just kill my whole soul. So I am doing lots of cottage cheeses, lots of things like that, hummus, stuff like that, that'll, try and keep me up in the protein, up in the calories as much as I can without being super fatty. I have a fear that fatty foods also will just irritate that bile, obviously, because it has more fat to digest. So I try to stay as far away from super fatty foods as I can, which does mean eating less cheese, which makes me sad because I like cheese. So that's where we're at. That's kind of the update as I have it now. I know it's not a lot of news, but I'm hopeful that we can get some things done in the next couple of months. I was kind of talking to his nurse, Dr. Corsellis' nurse, Kathy, and she had said that the revision to the Roux-en-Y bypass is not as cumbersome on your body as the initial procedure. So I'm hopeful that if we do need to go this route, that it all kind of comes together. I did tell my husband the other day, and you may be asking this question, aren't you sad that you just didn't go for do you regret this surgery and not just going for the Roux-en-Y fully? And the answer is no. I have no regrets, none, because in this 2-year time frame, I will be 2 years from my sleeve, June the 14th. Happy birthday to my BFF on that day. But I will be 2 years this June. So, but I have no regrets, because in those 2 years, it has taught me, like, I have learned so much. I've learned so much about myself. I've learned how to deal with my food issues. I've learned how to better prepare myself for potential triggers. I've learned how to exercise regularly. I've learned how to build muscle, which will just passively burn calories. So I've learned how to do all of that stuff. So I have zero regrets on doing the sleeve first and then possibly having to do the revision. The only thing that gives me pause in that is that it does mean, Andrew and I's goal is to have a baby, and we're getting older. He turns 41 June 15th. So we are getting older, and having a child, of course, the later you go, depending on where you're at in life, you may or may not be able to do that. So I'm hoping that we can get this, push through insurance, get it done, and then, work on the rest of that part. But for right now, we're holding off on that, and we're just going to take it slow and steady wins the race, because ultimately, if I'm not healthy, then it doesn't matter if we want to have a baby or not, because it's not going to be a good situation. And I don't want to put an unsuspected child through that. I don't want to put my husband through that. I don't want to put myself through that. So we're just going to keep on chugging along. Real quick before I go, I did want to explain to you my eating situation right now. So we had talked about it being mostly semi-solids or liquids. I've contabulated my calories today, and I have not eaten dinner, by the way. I think my calorie app has me at around 1,700 calories a day. I work out 3 times a week at least. So I think, the increase in calories is probably a good intake for my, expenditure and my muscle building. But today I have eaten about 753 calories today. And it is now, 8 o'clock at night. So I'm going to eat dinner, but I don't know what that's actually going to be yet. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. So that's about my caloric intake. My protein, I didn't even look at it before I did this video, but I'm certain that it's not the 84 grams that I'm supposed to have. So no matter what you're going through, no matter how you are struggling with it, because this is a struggle, let me be clear. There is always a way. There's always a way through it. Get with the people you love and get that support. We'll see you later.